I've been pushing off this video because I've just been kind of dreading making it. I'm not really sure how to go about it, what to say, where to start exactly, so I guess I'll just jump right into it. I'm quitting YouTube, well, at least for now. I'm not really sure for how long, maybe for a few weeks, maybe for a few months, maybe forever. And I just wanted to sit down and chat with you guys. This might be a long video. Anyway, just kind of sharing my thought process, and in the end I'd like to have some thoughts from you guys, maybe some advice, and so on. I've definitely been on a bit of a journey regarding this whole YouTube thing, regarding a lot of things in my life, and I've alluded to that in some past videos, which I think a lot of you have realized that have been following this channel faithfully. So yeah, I want to dive into a little bit more of that. And before we do all that, I just want to say I love this YouTube channel and the doors it has opened, the people I have been able to meet, the creative outlet it has been for me. Just so many things I can't really put a finger on, so I just want to thank you all for that opportunity, and I'm really hoping and praying that this is definitely not the end, because I want to continue. I'm going to share a lot more of my thought process, but also, if you didn't know, I do have a website called themennonitemom.com, and if you wish, you can go over there. I'll have links below, or you can just go to the website, and there you can sign up to be on our mailing list. I have been trying to send out weekly emails, just like when I upload, kind of a little bit talking about the video, or maybe it's something completely random, not even related to the video, like a blog post. I haven't been like super dedicated, but it is a place that I've been trying to like send out reminders with YouTube videos. So if you want to know when I am back, if I come back, hopefully I'll be back, you can sign up there and I'll be sending out that alert when I do start posting again. Also, there is a chance I will be posting some other things or just sending out little alerts from now until then that have nothing to do with YouTube. So if you wish to be a part of that, just feel free to sign up below. Also, I really hope you all had a wonderful, joyful Christmas. I love this time of year. And I also wanted to give just a huge thank you to all of you that have been sending us Christmas cards, Christmas gifts. They were so thoughtful and so special, and we just love getting mail. I don't really have the time to physically reply to everybody. I wish I did. But for those of you that sent your little tokens, your homemade gifts, all the things, it's just such a blessing, and a huge thank you to all of you that did that. We love getting cards in the mail and seeing pictures of who's all following us and that type of thing. It's really nice, so thank you. I wish I could thank each person personally, but it's just not really possible. So I'm not really sure where to start when I'm speaking about this whole journey I've been on. Let's just say I've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of praying, a lot of searching, trying to like work through some things in my life, trying to find like, you know, what are my goals for the channel? Do I have the right heart behind it all? Am I just a lot of questions, and especially regarding my family, is it good for the children? And I'm going to dive into that a little bit more as well. But also, I have been doing this for a little over 4 years now. It's hard to believe that I started this 4 years ago. I never expected it to go where it did, and it's just been a huge blessing in many ways. So it went from a hobby to something completely different that I can't even really put my fingers on. And thank you all for your support. It's because of people like you guys that it has grown and turned into what it has. And that's something I don't take lightly, and that I don't want to let go, because I have worked so hard on this channel as well, and I've just put a lot of love and a lot of hard work and a lot of sweat and a lot of tears probably into it, and so it's something that I can't just easily just stop. And there's more than just all that as well that makes it hard and difficult to say, well, should I just give it up? And because of all that, right now the plan is not to. But I still am going to just talk a little bit about why I want to quit for now, just for a break. In my head, I'm thinking maybe max 2 months, maybe shorter than that. But just some time where I don't have to focus at all on anything creative. I can just focus on my family and basically rest and do nothing. So I've been doing this for about 4 years. I've hardly missed a week. Here and there I did take a few breaks, like a week or two, or just skipped a week. But for the most part, I did a video a week, and sometimes I even did a video or 2 videos a week, especially back when we were renovating the camper. And that just takes a lot of energy, a lot of creative energy. And so I've been really, the last probably half year, or last year, been struggling with a little bit of a burnt out feeling. And it's becoming more and more, especially when I've been struggling with my why and some of my goals, and like, is this really what I should be doing? I've been doing a lot of searching and seeking, and I'm still am, and so I thought it would just be great if I didn't make any videos for a little while so that I could just solely focus on praying and searching and thinking through all this without being distracted by having to make content. Another thing is we've been going through some fairly difficult things in our lives recently, just personal things that has also affected us and kind of taken away from my motivation to create. Another thing that has probably been more on my mind, and I've spoken about this before, is my family and the whole YouTube channel. So when I started, Xander was only 2, and I hadn't really given a whole lot of thought. I didn't expect it to grow, but as something grows, and I am not like a huge advocate of social media, especially things like Instagram and Facebook, and like teenagers having their own personal, or children, I should say, children and teenagers, young teenagers, getting consumed in the whole social media world, and even adults. I think it can be very detrimental if you're not careful. And so I just wanted to, then when you bring YouTube into it, YouTube is definitely a social media platform in a little bit of a different way, but it is still social media. And so as Xander's been getting older and becoming more self-aware, becoming to think more about some of this, and I don't want it to be detrimental to him and all my children in a multitude of ways. I'm just sharing some of my thoughts out loud. The first being, safety is obviously a concern of mine, but probably not one of the top, because I just don't feel this channel is just the largest, and I don't feel like I just plaster my children's images all over the internet, but they are in videos. And they are on the internet, but it's not like I'm just, well, maybe I am. Compared to some people, I know I am. But I don't feel like I'm just excessively over the top, where every day and every week or something they're on Instagram or everywhere. I'm not very active on Instagram, in case you haven't noticed, for those of you that follow me there. But they are on YouTube a lot. When I do create videos, they do end up in my videos, because I love capturing life, and I love lifestyle and just trying to make something relatable. And since I'm a mom, that's kind of my stage of life, and a lot of you that follow me, that's your stage of life as well, or maybe your grandparents, and reminiscing of that. And you enjoy following children, and those are my favorite accounts to follow, is those that are like family related. And so it has kind of caught me in this awkward position of, this is sort of what my channel's about, it's what I want it to continue to be about, but like, I don't really feel like I need to take my children completely out of things, but I'm trying to find where is that balance where they are not very prominent at all, but I can still capture life's little moments here and there without making them like completely the center of attention, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't mind for our own personal home videos, but as Xander gets older and is more self-aware, he may not want to have his videos on the internet as he gets older. Especially as he's going to go to school here soon and interacting with other children. I've always tried to be sure I don't take anything that would make him embarrassed, but you know, you never know when children are older. I try not to share things that are sharing too much about my children's lives that would make them embarrassed as well. So I try to be careful with that. The flip side of that too is if when he goes out and about and people come up to him and, hey, I know you from your mom's videos, and I see you in videos, and I know people mean it with the best of intentions, but there is that level. I don't want him to ever think that he is something that he is not, and that he is better than anyone else somehow because more people, I think you know what I mean. I'm not talking about fame or not famous, but in a little child's mind compared to like an older person, the process of that is different, and I don't want that to affect him in a wrong way where he thinks he's something he's not, or becomes proud, or thinks he's better than other people. Or the flip side where he gets bullied, I guess, and made fun of. And so there's just so many aspects that you have to be careful of as a parent. And so I'm still working through this. One of the things I'm working through, because this channel is kind of a lifestyle channel, and I want it to be kind of stay that way, because I don't really have motivation to just sit down every week and have some kind of talking, inspirational video. I enjoy making those, but it takes a lot of energy, and I don't really feel it's what I'm called to do, and I don't really feel like, it's hard to explain. Maybe I better just let that go. But anyway, when I started this YouTube channel, my goal had often been to share lifestyle videos, just share life, and how we do things, and the ups and downs of life, just to be natural. I always loved storytelling. I always loved watching other people's stories, their lifestyles, just getting a peek into their life. And so my heart revolves around storytelling and family life. And also trying to, sorry about the noise, Lexi's playing in the living room. Anyway, and through that all, I also wanted to be an inspiration to other Christians, to shine Jesus' light in any way that I can. I'm very human, and so I often feel like I'm incapable of doing that. But yeah, I know we are called to do that. And so that has also been a goal of mine just through, there's just been a lot of little goals I guess I've had with this YouTube channel. I know that we probably missed the mark many times on that. And it is hard to like live so publicly and have your life so open, even though we don't share near all of it. It is hard to open yourself up to like be in a place where people can so easily criticize you, whether it's people you know or people you don't know. It's usually the people you know that it's the most difficult to receive that from. But I'm also getting a little weary of that, just always being so in the limelight. And I'm not excessively, this is a small channel, but more so than I would have been before, I guess. Anyway, so that comes in more with my children, I guess, and that was the biggest thing that I have been rolling around in my head for months now. The other thing was time management. I was like, it was consuming a lot of my time, and I'm like, I almost felt like time was getting away from me, and I was missing my children growing up because I was so busy all the time, and I hate that. I love being busy personally, but I'm like, if I'm so frantically busy that I can't just sit down just randomly and just enjoy playing on the floor with my children, which I do, but it's not as often as it should be, then I'm too busy. And I was starting to get like this frantic feeling like my children are going to be grown and gone, and I'll look back and I'll be like, I was so busy with my own things that I didn't realize they were growing up under my nose. So that was another thing that's been running around in my mind. So I was really working on time management, and I was really getting somewhere. I felt like I was getting at a much healthier place, and was feeling really good about that. And then some other things came and kind of hit me sideways, which I won't really dive into, but basically these things caused me to go into a real slump kind of mentally. I struggled with depression for a little while, but I think I'm getting through that, and I'm starting to find my normal self again and working through that. So that has been something else. It's been kind of a big battle among other things in our lives right now. So it's been just a lot on our plate, I guess is what I'm saying. As you probably noticed, here in December, I only posted 2 videos. And I had made those previously, like ahead of time, most of them. And so I already feel like I've had about a month's break of not creating. And it has been really refreshing and restful. And I do think that if I have another few months to just think and process and pray and not do much of that, I'll, be able to work through some of this and get some answers to my own questions. I'm basically trying to, assess what are my goals, what's my vision, and is this something that I need to be doing in my life right now? I'm asking counsel from personal friends and my husband, of course, and family, and I've been getting mixed reviews, and so that's been kind of difficult to work through as well. Just some people are very positive, some are not so positive. I'm just trying to look at it with an open mind and make sure that I am doing what is best. My husband is probably my biggest supporter. He doesn't think I should drop this, just cold turkey, so we probably won't, because he's the one that I take his counsel. It's the most valuable to me, I guess I should say. And my throat is getting cracky. Anyway, so that just kind of explains, with all this going on, I was just at complete burnout probably about 4 weeks ago or so. And I was literally ready to just throw everything completely under the bus, so to speak, and just give up and walk away. And I had pretty much given it up 100% and had just been like, I'm laying it down and I'm not doing anything. And it was kind of this odd feeling of just, I'm done, and I can't quite describe the feeling that I went through. And so I've been sort of processing through that, and the more I think, the more I talk to people, the more I'm not sure if that's exactly what I should do. And as I've been climbing out of sort of that slump, and if I can call it depression-ish, I've been realizing that probably wasn't, I've been seeing things a little bit more maybe from a balanced perspective, and don't really feel like that's what we need to be doing right now, because this has been just an incredible journey and I'm not ready to give it up unless I feel like that's what God is calling me to do. And so you can join me in praying and helping that I'll truly find an answer through all this, because the thing that is most valuable to me is my family and my children, and they do come first as far as my responsibilities. I had made videos before. I had made 2 different videos, which they almost seem to contradict each other. The one was about following your passions and your dreams, and that you shouldn't just become so wrapped up in your children's lives that they just consume everything. And then the other video I had made was about making sure you prioritize your family and your children, and not letting things like your mission work or your career or anything be so like God gave them to you. You're the only parents they can have. They're your biggest mission work, not some other big thing that looks more glamorous. And so those 2 videos almost seem to contradict each other, but I still hold to both of them. I should have been a little bit more clear in both of those when I made them. I think as long as you prioritize your children but aren't consumed with them, like, I think there's that balance there where they are your priority, they're your biggest responsibility, but they can't consume your life in a way that is unhealthy. I think I can make the balance there. And so right now I am just trying to make sure that I have that right balance in my life, that they are the priority, but I'm not wanting them and just family life to consume me, that there isn't other things, because I am the type of person that I thrive if I have something personally like this YouTube channel. It has just been such a joy to me in many different ways, and it has just created sort of this, I don't know quite how to say it, but it is something that just creates an energy that I feel I can then flow into other people as well. But I want to make sure that my priorities aren't getting switched. I once heard this thing that I really, really like, and I'm going to see if I can put it into perspective. How our responsibilities are kind of like circles. So in the center of the very circle, our very first priority is God. And then be like our spiritual life, our walk with Him. Obviously, you need to make sure that your responsibility to God is first. And so that includes a lot of things. But I'm thinking more like your personal relationship, making sure you're right with God, making sure that your relationship is there, and that you're feeding yourself in that way, spiritually, and walking with God as you should. After that, there's a circle comes after that. So if you can imagine a dot in the center. And then after that is the next circle, and that would be like your husband, your spouse. The circle after that gets a little bit wider, and that's your children. And each circle is another ring around the center circle. So you have God in the middle, you have your husband, your spouse, husband, wife, and then after that is your children. I think we as women, especially me, I think it's easy to get those flipped because children are so needy, whereas adults aren't as needy. So it's easier to sometimes prioritize our children and get those flipped. So I'm trying to make sure that I need to work on that myself, to make sure my husband is in front of my children and not the other way around. That we're always, because it's kind of a hard balance, because children really need you, but the relationship with your spouse is so important. But anyway, that's something else to talk about. But after that, Nolan and I have been talking about this. After that would be like your extended family, your parents, siblings, and so on. Now, obviously, I'm speaking from someone that's married and has children. Depending what stage of life you're in, this circle would look differently. So then after your extended family would be like your church community, your church family, and then after that, and like the responsibilities in there, and then after that you could put, say, mission field, anything broader, like the broader spectrum of your life. I don't know exactly where your career fits in, because it's kind of one of those things where you need to make money for your children, you need to provide, so somewhere in all that mix, I guess you have to put that. But I was thinking more in people and relationships, and so it's sort of like this analogy I heard: when every circle is filled, then you can pour into the next one. So it's God, and then you can pour into your husband, and then pour into your children, and pour into your church, and then pour into the rest of your mission work or the world or whatever you're doing in the community. So in an ideal world, you would always be in order, right? And you would always fill up, but we obviously, nothing will ever be ideal, but that's sort of the thing that I like to think of to live by, and who has priority and how you're supposed to have that priority. And so to me, that's kind of how I want to orient my life right now. And I want to make sure I'm taking care of the essentials and my spiritual walk and my husband and I's relationship and my children's relationship and what I'm doing with them. So sorry about my voice. And then from there, of course, the church and community and wherever YouTube fits in, probably in the very outer circle of that, like with the community and everything else, because that's kind of what I view it as in that circle. So anyway, so that's kind of my goal, is to make sure that I'm sitting back and looking at my life and setting some goals and being intentional. It's another thing that's been really in my mind a lot lately, is intention and living with intention and looking down the road 5-10 years and where do I want my family to be? What kind of children do I want my children to grow up to be? Am I just surviving every day and existing because I have been there? And I don't want to live like that at all. Like where just every day I just so get by. And sometimes we have to go through those periods of time where we just exist and survive. But in all reality, it's like we need to set goals and we need to be intentional. And, you know, if I want my children to be loving, giving people when they're older, you know, and that's going to be quickly. I'm realizing so much how fast children grow up. Xander's already 5. Another times that much, he'll be 10. Other times that much, I'll have a 15-year-old teenager, and then what, you know? I better have some foundations laid now. And so I think, like, if I want my child to be caring and loving and giving and concerned with other people, how do I do that now? I can teach him that now, but I also need to show him that through my life. And so it's one of those things that when you look down the road and you're like, I want this, and I want my children to look back and remember time spent with me. I want them to remember me doing things for other people, and that I wasn't so busy consumed in my own world that I never had time for that. And that's just a little example. So in stepping back, I want to just make sure my priorities are right, kind of set goals. Nolan has been really great with this. We've been wanting to sit down and, you know, I've been going through the book Mennonite Mom, which is incredible. It's about making traditions and memories for your children, and that's something we want to set up and do more of every year. Have little traditions that we do that our children remember when they leave home. I'm just rambling here, but I think you get the point that I'm trying to make. So in me quitting YouTube for a bit or taking a break, it's just basically me stepping back and asking myself, you know, where are my priorities? Or is everything like it should be in my life? Does YouTube fall into the place where it should? Is it something that I'm supposed to do as far as children? You know, is it detrimental to them? Is it okay? Is it God's will for me to move forward? I've often thought it was in different areas, and then I've ended up questioning everything with some voices in my life, I'll say. And so I've been wrestling with some of that, and I've also been, you know, just searching my own heart. Do I think I have certain motives with it, and then switched around and it's actually other motives that I'm unaware, because the Bible does say the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Like, you know, we're very much bent towards self, and oftentimes we don't even realize it, but it's always our tendency to just always be thinking about ourselves. And sometimes what motivates us, we don't really realize our motives, and we think we're doing it for something good and noble in our head, but really it's not. It's something for something else, selfish reasons. And so I want to make sure I'm seeking through all that, making sure that that's all in the right perspective as well. And I also want to see if I do come back, and I want to refocus this channel and kind of be a little more goal oriented instead of just randomly making videos just to make videos. I want them to have purpose. I still want to share stories and kind of more of a story timeline, like just like day in the life. People love those. They seem to always do the best on my channel, and always the ones you request the most. I get a little tired of them, but some of my thinking process was, you know, if I can do something like that, and you know, if there's been something on my mind, think ahead a little bit and maybe chat about said thing throughout the video, so I can leave someone with a little bit of something to think about or inspiration, or just share something I've been going through, because that's really what we're all here for, is to inspire each other and help each other on. And I don't want a channel that can just, because social media can so quickly be like, oh, here, look at my life, this is all about me, and I never wanted it to be that way, and I can quickly see how quickly it can become that. So that's one of the things I am working through. I do love travel videos. I love making travel videos. If you haven't noticed, that's probably where I put most of my time in videos. But then I also struggle with, well, it's kind of like our family got to do this incredible thing. Come look at it, you know. And I don't want it to appear that way. So I am working through this various things, and you're welcome to leave your thoughts and comments below on what you think would be a great idea. I know some people said that they wish I would just make like a devotional channel and that's all we would talk about, but that's not really something that I see us doing for various different reasons, which I won't go into here, but I don't think it's what I'm called to do or my purpose. But I also think that I can include little tidbits of things throughout my videos and make some videos here and there where Nolan and I sit down, or I just sit down and we do more of a chatty video about a subject. Those videos never do as well. It doesn't really matter, but some of you really wish I would make more of those. So if you have any ideas, as I've just kind of shared my dilemma, I hope I've kind of come out with it, because what I find the most joy in, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but is just creating a lifestyle. Because I'm also doing it for us. That way years later we can look back, and I've been doing this. I also make videos just for our family that never make it on YouTube. And I plan to always continue to do that. And so my heart lies with kind of more of a creative way of creating videos. Tell me below if you like them, if you've noticed me changing it up some here in the past few videos, if you like that style more, or if you prefer just a little bit more low-key. I'm not saying they're not low-key, but I was trying to get more different camera angles and have a little bit more of a storyline. Tell me if you prefer that, or if you prefer the older style videos I used to make. Let me get my child. She has a little bit of a dirty face. I wasn't expecting to have her on the video, right? Real life here. I love to have a creative outlet. Part of that is sharing a lifestyle that revolves around family life. And so I'm just trying to sort through all that with Nolan as well, and just trying to decide how much we want to show of our children as they're growing, like how much is too much, what do we feel is a good healthy balance for them as they're growing up, you know, if they're just a little bit in here and there as we do family projects, just not so prominent maybe. If we take family vacations, we will definitely be recording for ourselves anyway. I don't know if we'll upload to YouTube, but if we do that, the children would obviously still be very prominent. But yeah, maybe just a lot of the videos not have them in quite as much. Whew, you're nosy. We're all just getting colds, and I feel bad constantly wiping her nose because it hurts, right? I know, you found your voice. Are you feeling so much happier? Who's that little girly? Ah, who's that little girly? Say hi. She has a whole row of teeth. By the way, she got her front middle teeth. That last video I made, I had taken most of it in the fall, by the way, so she's much bigger now. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so I would very much love to hear your thoughts on the whole thing. What kind of videos you would like to see? Do you like when I am more creative and do the storytelling type? And would you think that that would be a good route to go with that type of video? And then also where I think ahead a little bit more and try to talk about something that's inspired me or some thoughts I've been having, and weave it throughout the story a little bit more, or the day in the life video or whatever, to try to have videos have a little bit more of a purpose. I do also enjoy like finance, sharing videos on you know, just helpful tips and things here and there. I very much enjoy that kind too, which I would also be planning to do. Nolan is very much into helping me do some more chatty videos, so I was thinking it'd be nice if I could have like a month laid out, and every month I would say do one Q&A. I'm not a very scheduled person, in case you all haven't noticed that by now. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm Q&A coming up, and then it never happened, or something down that line. So but I would like to be more scheduled, work ahead more. So yeah, if I can find that healthy balance and kind of feel that I know what we're supposed to do, where I feel Nolan and I both feel we have a healthy balance with the children in it, finding kind of my motive behind it all as well. And it all, I do plan to continue. We're just trying to find through all that. And if for some reason through all this, sorry, she keeps bumping the table, we decide that it is not the way, then I will definitely let you all know that I will be quitting for good. But as of now, it doesn't look that way. I just need a little bit of a break to kind of work through some personal things and find my way through all this. So I would love to hear your thoughts below, things that you enjoy. And yeah, I just really appreciate all your support, especially all the faithful ones. That's one thing I like about having a smaller channel like this. It's not really a huge desire of mine to have it grow like really big, for one, safety reasons, and I feel better about having children on, which it is still considered a very small channel. Even like 100 or 200,000 subscribers is still quite small in the relative, in the YouTube sphere, I guess. But I do also like the fact that I get to recognize people's comments. I still don't get to comment to nearly everyone, but I often try to the first day kind of get to comments, and I often recognize a lot of the people, and that's been fun. The people I've been emailing, getting to know, hearing y'all's testimonies. It's just been a real inspiration. And so, yeah, that's something I've enjoyed. I've also very much enjoyed the business opportunity it has opened up for us, and it's been able to make an income on the side that has been really nice. I remember back in the day when I was really sick, and Nolan was working to try to make money to pay for all my meds, doctor's appointments, and we figured out there for a while, I think I was spending about $1,000, not quite, $800 to $1,000 just for medication and supplements. This child is so restless, she cannot sit still. Anyway, and I would just feel bad that he would have to go out and work almost a full week's wages just to pay for that, and that was before taxes. And so as time has gone on and I've created this YouTube channel, we've done a few other things, it's been nice to ease that crunch. So yeah, and so that has been really a huge blessing I didn't really see coming. And so that and just a load of other things, like I mentioned before, all the people I've met, the creative outlet, it's just been a joy to have, and it's something that would be really, really difficult for me to give up, but I am willing to give it up if that's what I feel like God is calling me to do. And I just want to make sure all my priorities are right, and that these little people are for sure taken care of by their mom. But I also don't want them to think that they're the center of our universe, because they're not. I think not. I've heard that often. Children should not think that that everything revolves around them, I guess is the word. They need to realize that there's other things that isn't just all about the children, but they are what I would consider our most important responsibility. So there you go, Miss Tuffet. Can you say bye to everybody? See you in a couple weeks, a couple months, a couple years? Nah, hopefully not a couple years. Yeah. Say hi. Hi. If you're still here and sticking around to the end, thanks a lot. I know it's kind of a rambly video, but just got some of my thoughts out there. And yeah, once again, if you want to sign up below and be on our mailing list, you might get some updates before I post again. Might not. Never know with me in my life. But I will be mailing out when we start posting again, and if we start posting again on YouTube. So YouTube is very notorious for not sending out notifications. So I've had people tell me, oh, welcome back. You know, I haven't seen a video from you for a while. I thought you quit. And I was posting every week, you know, over the time of those comments. And so YouTube often will not recommend videos to people all the time. So if you for sure want to know, that's a great way is to sign up on the mailing list, right? There's all the toothies. Here, let's show all the toothies. There they are. You need to grow some hair. You should go get your bow so you look a little more like a girl. Yeah. Say hi. You're so sweet. Can't believe she's 7 months. Going on 8 months already. She's scooting all over the floor. I think she has a super high metabolism. She just cannot sit still. And I still have to kind of wrap her a little bit when she goes to bed, because she will flail her arms around and everything to the point she will not sleep. So we're trying to figure out how in the world to get her to sleep without that. Yeah. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You're so special. All right. Shall we put the piggy toe up? Say bye.